Hello everyone, Martin here. Welcome to the Inner Loop. It's been rather a long time since I've posted a video. It's not for the want of actually doing anything, it's more for the want of doing too many things at once. I've hardly got around to finishing anything really, but I've been doing lots of small projects. Mostly because I've been procrastinating from the main project, but more of that later. I thought I'd give you a show of my desk and then you can see some of the projects that are lying about and what I've been up to. I guess the first thing I wanted to talk about was the Plinth. Plinth has been, I've written some firmware for it, but really nothing very much. So what I was investigating was with an analog device. An analog device, you twist a knob. It makes some sort of noise, which is great. But what if you could record the knob twist and just keep playing it? So let's do that. So I've just twiddled that. Just remembered that. There's more work to do there, but the Plinth is one project which is ticking along nicely. So the next one was just some work with these letters. It was a game really with my son. We wrote some letters out, pulled them out of a hat and wrote them down. It was an experiment in writing really. But then it became sort of fascinating to try and write a poem. Here's the poem that you saw made up from those letters which are on my desktop. This poem was a poem about being true to ourselves. Patrick Bartness kind of got hold of this, and he also has written a number of. He's taken these letters and also written a number of poems using them. So you can look at those on his Instagram. These. There's only one thing that everybody should do with these. Let's make one of these guys. So, if you've got any of these things, please make one of these. The next project is this Pi Zero here with 4 A to Ds sitting inside it. One of those A to Ds is measuring with this thermistor the temperature in this room. Let me show you the graph of that temperature. So here's the temperature in the room where I'm sitting for the last, well, it's almost a month. You can see fairly clearly from the data that there's little dips, and these are daily dips. These are the evening when the heating goes off, and then there's the peaks during the day when the heating's on. Well, this graph doesn't really show us very much, but if we look at one for like a sort of 24-hour period, you can see this characteristic end of the night, temperature drops during the night, heating comes on in the morning, and then somebody opens the door and lets the dog out, then the temperature kind of finishes rising about 11 o'clock, and then temperature drops, somebody's left the door open, temperature rises again, drops. So there we have it, sort of a profile of the temperature. So I thought this kind of chaotic, it's not really chaotic, it's actually quite well organized data might make an interesting modulation. Okay, so let's throw it at an oscillator, and I worked really quite hard to try and see if I can make anything musical out of it. And unfortunately, as you hear, I didn't really have a lot of success. So this data is still collecting, and I'm wondering, it's chaotic, but it's also structured, so I'm wondering what to do with it, but it's another project. What happens if you take 4 Sharpies, green, a red, a blue and a black. So take a picture, any JPEG you like, and recolor it so that the only colours that you've got are red, green, blue, black and white. So the picture must contain exactly the same amount of red, green, blue, black and white. And pixelize it a bit so it looks a bit like Lego. And this is the code that I came up with. So let's have a look at that. So here we have it. Take a picture of me, I'm right there, and pixelize it. And then solve the problem of pixelizing it so that there's enough exactly red, green and blue. So there I am with a red, green, blue face. Let's play this video, because what I did is I actually adjusted the amount of pixelization as a video. So let's play it. And you can see me rapidly pixelizing into nothing. Stop that. But all the time that this algorithm is running, the rules are the same. There must be the same amount of red, green and blue and black. My plan with this was to also actually get out the Sharpies and draw myself. But I never found a point on this where it wasn't going to be either too much work to fill it all in, or it wouldn't take long but it didn't look anything like me. The reason I've been procrastinating and doing all these other projects is because I've not been getting on with this. This is the oscillator thing that I talked about in the previous video. So quite a lot of it has actually been made. So I've made two oscillators here. I made the floor capacitor. So this is like a variable capacitor which varies the pitch of one of the oscillators as you tread on it. I've made a mixer, so this section here actually mixes the two oscillators together, that works. I've made the envelope generator, which is this part here. Press the button, ding, and it generates an envelope. I've even built the bit which is supposed to trigger the envelope, which is a magnetic coil. This has a very basic preamp. The idea is it's going to feed here into a rectifier, which means that as you approach the coil with a magnet or leave the coil with a magnet, it will trigger Schmitt trigger. Schmitt trigger will then trigger the envelope generator. So hopefully moving a magnet in both directions should trigger the oscillator. The Schmitt trigger, there's no room on the breadboard, so what I need to do is to start moving some of these components off onto the strip board, and then I can start getting the Schmitt trigger working. I have had it working. When that's finished, the last thing I need to do then with this free breadboard is build the filter section. I now think I know what the pots are going to be used for. This is a tuner for one of the oscillators. This is going to be like the length of the envelope. At the moment I've got one of these trim pots. 47k.
Or is that what they're offering you per me?
Which I bought in the unboxing video. You'll see that. So I've got a trim pot there. So my four pots are going to be one for the frequency of one of these oscillators. The other one is the floor capacitor. This is going to be the envelope, so how long the envelope is. And then the other two pots, I've got two more 100Ks, are probably going to be the filter and some other aspect of the filter. You know, it's cut off and reverb or something. So I'm on the way with this, and once I finish making this video, I'm going to go back to it and finish it off. And hopefully in part 3 I should be able to show you a completed thing. I was using the Raspberry Pi as a voltmeter, but I realised that you need to have good tools. And good tools certainly for analog electronics include a multimeter. Trim pots, 47k.
Or is that what they're offering you per me?
I bought some batteries, but good old radio spares. They actually sent a battery with the multimeter, so I've now got this block of PP9s, Duracell, top dog. So, thank you all for watching. This kind of concludes this video for now. I hope you've enjoyed looking around and look around my desk and some of the projects I've been doing. Oh, I've been painting. I painted a picture. I'm not very well accomplished with paint, but it is nice to get a paintbrush out every now and then and just to push some paint around. It's a good way of telling yourself a story. So I don't think this picture's really going to take modern, but it has also been distracting me from doing other things. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time on the Inner Loop.